My fire service career is gone back for so long, I'm not sure that there could have been any other career. We have pictures of me when I was a couple of years old, sitting on the family front porch in Peekskill, New York, with me playing with fire trucks. Every time we went back to Brooklyn to see relatives, my uncle would take me around the corner to the fire station. In my kindergarten year, the school didn't have enough space for kindergarten, and we ended up having kindergarten class in the fire station, where I later became a volunteer firefighter. So really, my life has been shaped by the fire service. As I was growing up, it was the area was protected by a volunteer fire service, and I was able to join as a junior member. I was 16, 17, and it was just a nice way to pay back the community. My older brother had been a volunteer firefighter, and we had neighbors that were volunteer firefighters, so I joined a local volunteer firefighting organization and helped to make sure our community stayed safe. I was working for a medical supply company out of the Hudson Valley, and they had a location here that I came up to manage, and truly fell in love with the area. Continued my search for a position in the fire service, managed to stay here in Pittsfield, and it's been a great opportunity. This community is blessed with beautiful climate, with scenery, great cultural attractions. I've raised 3 kids here. I've got 3 grandchildren living in the county now. I'm just not sure that I could go anyplace else. Obviously, the fire service here in Pittsfield is much different than in a rural community. We see so many different challenges here on a daily basis. One of the things that again, I would never anticipate as a EMT first responder in my 32-year career here. I was the first one through a door on, I think, 4 different murder scenes. That kind of gets to you because it's, typically very senseless things. But probably the things that stand out most are just the most recent. As you know, in the last 6-8 months, we've had 2 fires that resulted in a total of 5 fatalities. And to me, that's ridiculous. I mean, for the want of a $10 smoke detector, for a $1 battery, people could be alive today. And that to me is scary. I wonder how many more homes in our community are not protected, okay? They don't have a working battery in that smoke detector. Maybe not even have the smoke detector. It's taken down because of, cooking smoke or whatever. And that's the one thing I can just, implore upon people is to please, check your smoke detectors. Make sure there's fresh batteries in there. Change them out. Every change of the clock, change your batteries. Every 10 years, smoke detectors need to be replaced. Every 5 years, carbon monoxide detectors need to be replaced. The fire in Lake Inota Village, we lost a set of 6-year-old twins. And that to me was very difficult because I have a grandson that's about to turn 6, within the next couple of months. And you just imagine him in that position. What would he have done? And I would have thought that, a lot of people in our community would have taken that message and gone back and say, hey, you know what, it's time to check our smoke detectors. I wasn't old enough to be riding on horse-drawn fire apparatus, but we still had a lot of old trucks where we rode on the back step. We had old Maxim and Mack fire trucks that had windshield wipers on the inside of the truck as well as the outside because it would rain just as hard on the inside. Over 32 years, we've gotten much safer. We've gone to diesel engines and automatic transmissions. Our radio communications have improved tremendously. Our turnout gear has gone from rubber coats and rubber boots and tin helmets to modern technology that's lightweight and provides us with a great degree of safety. The training requirements are much greater now, and it's important that people understand how a fire behaves before they go in to fight that fire, to understand, where the heat's going, where the flames are going to go, how the smoke travels, what's the color of smoke. It used to be 32 years ago, you got to the scene, you put the wet stuff on the red stuff, and that was it. And now there's a science. There's been many heroic saves. Lieutenant Steve Huska pulled a young kid from a roof on Fairfield Street. In more recent history was a fire down on Merriam Street, where I believe it was firefighter Matt Mazzio and Tim Conroy went in and found a youth who was in his bedroom. His father was cooking and fell asleep while he was cooking. The kitchen caught on fire, and that crew went in and went over the front porch roof into the second floor, grabbed that kid and got him out of there, and he survived that fire. Firefighters, we'll all just say there, you know what, that's part of our job. We do that every day, and it is. I was given the humanitarian award one year for pulling a gentleman out of a fire in East Housatonic Street many years ago. It's a lot nicer to see that people will try to help their brother before we arrived, either helping people out of a burning house, performing CPR, doing things like that. And I just think to give a thanks and shout out to those people as well, to be, courageous enough and brave enough. The most rewarding part of this job is truly the people we work with. Our biggest asset here in the fire service are the firefighters, the fire officers, the civilian staff that we have here. We work together as a team. We've got 4 separate groups of firefighters that rotate around the clock, and that's truly rewarding, is that these guys come to work, they want to train, they want to be here, and they're willing to do the work, protect this community and its citizens, its visitors every day. We've become good friends and family over the years. Next week I'll be playing golf with one of those guys that I fought fires with 40 years ago. That's what a tight-knit community the fire service is. My previous leaders of this fire department did a great job. I'd like to think that, we built on that. We had vision. We moved forward. In my time frame, we've gotten 3 new engines, 1 new ladder truck. We've bought a couple of used engines. We've got new turnout gear. We've got new self-contained breathing apparatus. So again, we've changed training and things to meet the demands of the modern fire service. I'd like to think that my successor will have that same vision, not have the status quo, let's just wander around like a rudderless ship. I want to see this place continue to move forward, and I'd be willing to give them advice. I'm not saying they have to follow it, but I'm just saying, you know what? I'm here, I'm in the community. If you got a question, reach out to me. Always be the student. You always need to be willing to learn, okay? Especially in this business, because your life, your partner's life, the public's life always depends on your knowledge, what you know. If you think you know it all, you've now become a liability to me. I think this department has had a great history. It was established back in 1891, so 130 some odd years that we've been out here, and I'd love to see those traditions carried on. I want to thank the citizens of Pittsfield for their continued support over my career here. One of the proudest moments I ever achieved in this department is leading our members down North Street in the 4th of July parade. And the thunderous applause that just moves down that street with us is phenomenal. How their hats still fit us, I don't know, because I think our heads grow 3 times. And I hope that the community continues to support this organization. One thing I'd like to do before I die, that's a tough question. It's not like skydiving or anything like that. Just enjoy life.